غير بس لما تبلش.
تورد هذه انت شاريها بنفسك ترى يعني.
انا شاريها بنفسي.
يعني يوم شاريها من المحل ولا شاريها
لا شاريها بعدين ليتر.
مو فنتج يعني.
فنتج، شاريها
يعني
فنتج.
لا مو شاريها يعني وقتها.
لا لا
العدد نفسه
لا
لأنها قديمه وايد.
اي عندي اعداد قديمه ملكي بالسبعينات. اي اللي انا شاريه.
هذا قبل ما احنا تدري جيل التسعينات.
Steam it off events. So let's start by steaming it off a little bit. So please, everybody stand up.
No, we were told to steam up, that is off.
Steam up, that's in the plant side. So let's breathe in to the count of 10, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And steam it off to the count of 10. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you very much. Please, be seated. خلاص. ولا مين ما شاء الله. So the one who found himself unable to reach the number 10, maybe he needs to exercise more to expand his lungs. Anyway, let's talk about the meaning of steam it off. For sure, we are relating to stress management, stress at work management. Does equate has stress at work? Okay, I won't be needing your answer. I'll answer for you. Yes, for sure. I'll take that for granted. Every workplace has a stress, for sure. And it increases and decreases along the different events, along the different activities and responsibilities and so on. So can Equate do anything about that? For sure, yeah. And this event is one of those events that we are trying to target with stress at work management, and more events, inshallah, will be coming in that sense. More than lecturing, more than those activities, there are a lot of things that we can do to tackle stress at work. Many plans are coming, inshallah, and we'll try to put more and more in that direction. Can we do anything on our, let's say, personal level to tackle and manage stress? Yes, we can do a lot, and this is what Dr. Adel Zayed, who is a consultant psychiatrist, is going to talk about this morning. So please, Ali, will talk to Dr. Adel.
Thank you very much, Sajid. Assalamu alaikum. Actually, just a few quick administrative regulations, if it's possible to say. I will speak in English most of the talk, but forgive me if I threw a couple of Arabic words. So it will be Franco-Arab rather than a pure English lecture. This is one. The second thing I want just to mention, I don't know how many of you have been in contact with psychiatrists before. We talk more than anything else. So talking is part of our, this is how we actually make money. So this is my profession, is to talk. So I wouldn't be following my slides slide by slide. I'll just talk freely. And then, I will scroll on the slides. If I find a slide that I haven't touched, I will just stop at it quickly. But all the slides, you have it there. If somebody need to go back for them or something, Sajid can be the person you can contact, and he will give you a copy. So all is what is there, it being put in a simple way for everybody can follow through the slides, but I would rather speak. Why I'm talking about stress? Actually, my subspecialty in psychiatry is addiction. I work in addiction. I'm an addiction consultant. That doesn't mean make you to be addict. No, rather to help you to get off addiction. And we have a brilliant, good center here in Kuwait. But why I'm talking about stress management, if that's not my subspecialty in psychiatry? As you know, psychiatry, as all branches of medicine, has its own subspecialties. The reason is because what is coming in these slides, and I keep on going everywhere talking about stress management in life, because I don't like to specify work-related stress management, because for me this is very silly thing to consider. But how we control stress in our life, this is how I can see it. The reason for that, in 2002, when I was back from England, where I did my postgraduate studies in psychiatry, I was actually in Edinburgh. And I joined psychiatry because I loved psychiatry since the university time, and I was so happy that I finished my membership and ready to work and so on, and I like my specialty, and everything was pinky in color. When I came here, actually, I was on, shortly after starting my career here in Kuwait, I started to feel stress, and I was burnt off. What happened actually is that 6 months after I came to Kuwait, and I will go through that when we come to it in the lecture, but 6 months after coming to Kuwait, I had the duodenal ulcer. I was in agony. I was so stressed. There so many things was happening in my life, and I was not happy. So at that point, actually, don't tell me you are a psychiatrist. You should be aware of it. At the end, I'm a human being. So at that point, I said, there is something should be done. And at that point, I started to dig more and more in stress. And I went several times to UK again, attending a few workshops and lectures and whatever there, training for stress management only, initially to help myself. And then I said, it's time to share it with everybody. And since that time, since 2006, I'm trying to share this experience with everybody. So it's more of a psychiatrist with personal experience. And one of the best books probably written by psychiatrists is Touched with Fire. It's a brilliant book for those who like to read books. This book is written by a psychiatrist, and she had bipolar affective disorder, and she is writing her experience with bipolar affective disorder. So this is again a personal experience with the stress. I thought at that time it's work-related, but we will see how things is different. So before going through these slides, let us just know what is stress. This is the word that we have to answer. This is the question that we need to answer. What is the stress? Because if we know what is stress, then we know how to deal with it. If we are not aware what is the stress, we'll never be able to identify it. I need to put this here, but how I'll do that? I need to change its orientation. Sorry? No, I won't get stressed because of this. All right. No. لا خلاص راح احطها هني وانتوا كيفكم. Right. I need to change the side. So stress simply for me, it happens when we lose the ability to cope. Okay. So when we lose our ability to cope, this is stress. Then stress is going to happen. So I have pressures, I have changes happening in life, I have responsibilities, whatever it is. And then we all have coping mechanisms. We cope with this. We are able to cope with it. As long as I'm coping with it, I'm fine. But when I lose my ability to cope, then stress is happening. And I need to say this because we differentiate so much in psychiatry between stress and anxiety. Anxiety disorder is not something that you will be able to help yourself with it. You need someone specialized to treat you from your anxiety disorder. But stress, it is something that you can help yourself before that stress develops into anxiety. Okay? So, not every stress disorder or stressful event is going to cause this anxiety disorder. And not every anxiety disorder is out of stress, but they are so much related. So if I can be aware of my stress and then help myself before it develops into anxiety, that would be the best thing to do. And that's what we are going to try to do now. So stress is the reaction people have to excessive pressure or other types of demand placed upon them. It arises when they worry that they can't cope. Starting to flip into Arabic, أقول لكم على القصة السريعة هذه. أول ما جيت من إنجلترا سنة 2002. أنا جيت في 9/1/2002. في الطيارة اللي جاء فيها الشيخ يابر الله يرحمه من إنجلترا أيضا بعد رحلة علاجه الأولى. فركبونا عليها مو لأنه يعني كان يعرفوني ولا شيء ولا هذا، لا كنا بالسفارة بتحجز، قالوا في طيارة يلا ركبوا عليها، أوفر حق السفارة بس يعني. جيت 9/1 أجازة، عطوا الكويت 3 أيام أجازة، فكنت أنا أجازة بعد. يوم 13/1 كان أول خفارة لي في بعد ما رجعت الكويت. ممتاز. جيت 13/1 السينيور ريجسترار ياخذ الخفارة من البيت، اتصلوا علي قالوا لي في ترى ريكوست من مستشفى الولادة يبونك. دقوا علي الساعة 12 بالليل. ما يعني تعرفوني في يصير ست ماين مستشفى الولادة يبون ريكوست سيكايترست الساعة 12 بالليل ارجنت، واحدة ولدت أكيد بريشيس بيبي وتوفى. زين ها يعني رحت ركبت السيارة ورحت يعني شلون تو بريك النيوز للماذر او شي از اوريدي اوير ان البيبي مات ويبون احد تو يعني جريفها. ممتاز. دخلت شفت السيستر نايمة مثلي. زين صبحك الله بالخير، صبحك الله بالنور، اي غرفة، الغرفة الفلانية، ممكن ملفها ولا ملفها الكبر ومكتوب عليه من برا محطوط الاستيكر مال الانفرتيليتي، يعني انها كانت حالة عقم ومتعالجة. يعني قلت هذا هو السيناريو. زين دخلت كان اقول السلام عليكم، كانت تقول وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته، وقاعدة تبكي عيون مرمة حمراء. زين فقلت له يعني بفتح الكلام فخلاص يعني واضح من عينها انا قاعد تبكي فتدري يعني، وملفها الكبر وصراحه ما شفت يعني الملف زياده يعني جريفنج، ما عندي شيء خطر بسويه يعني. اقول لها لله ما اعطى ولله ما اخذ. كانت تقول شنو ايش فيك انت دكتور؟ زين قلت لها يعني الله سبحانه وتعالى يعني. كانت تقول دكتور ايش فيك انت؟ منو ايش فيه؟ قلت لها البيبي اللي مات. كانت تقول لي مو واحد. قلت لها شنو مو واحد؟ كانت تقول لي 3. قلت لها 3 ماتوا؟ قالت لي من قال لك ماتوا دكتور ايش فيك انت علي بعد؟ قلت لها شنو القصه؟ انا احس بالي لان اشوف حال. كانت تقول لي انا كنت اطفال انابيب وجبت 3 توائم. كانت اقول لها زين يعني موجودين؟ كانت تقول لي موجودين. قلت لها فيهم شيء؟ قالت لا بالحضانات. قلت لها طبعا 3 راح يكون بالحضانه شيء طبيعي يعني. قلت لها يعني زين شو اللي صاير؟ كانت تقول دكتور 1 والناس ما تقدر تربيه، انا 3. زين قاعده تبكي. اوكي فقلت لها عفوا انت ايش كثر يعني صار لك يعني من تزوجتي يعني فتره عدم الانجاب؟ كانت تقول 10 سنين. قلت لها 10 سنين 3 عيال محسوبه صح ماكو شيء غلط. شنو القصه؟ كانت تقول لي دكتور 3. طبعا انا متخيل دخلت عليها خالتها سبيكه 3 الله يعينك الله يصبرك، عمتها موزه الله يعينك الله يصبرك. فطبعا المراه يعني فلت ذاتس ات اي كانت كوب. قلت لها انت متى والده؟ عفوا. قالت لي من 3 أيام. قلت لها زين انت شفت العيال؟ كانت تقول لي لا هم بالحضانه وللحين ما رحت شفتهم. قلت لها يعني ما شفتيهم وقاعده تبكين من تربيتهم؟ قالت دكتور انا اقول لك الناس 1 ما يربونه، انا شلون اربي 3؟ قلت لها زين انت طلع يربيهم زين، واذا ما عرفته ذاك الوقت نتكلم. عقب 2 شهر بالعياده قاعد، احد يطق العياده كسر باب عيادتي في المستشفى مو يعني قطاع خاص ولا شيء، وانا حاط ورقه هالكبر ممنوع طرق الباب. زين طبعا ممنوع طرق الباب في الكويت يعني طق الباب. بطلت هذا معصب. قلت دكتور لا تعصب الله يخليك لان انا مستعجل والله عندي دوام. قلت له زين كل الناس عندها دوام الله يهداك، في وحده داخل انا وياه. قلت دكتور انا زوجتي فلانه. قلت منو فلانه؟ ما اعرفها. كان يقول اللي الدكتور رحت لها مستشفى الولاده. نعم. قال 3 توائم. قلت له ايش فيها؟ ممتازه امورها طيبه بس حبيت اطمنك. ف اذا احنا this is what we are talking about. Sometimes we have the worries that I'm not able going to cope. And that takes me to stress, okay, expecting the worst, right? So this is another definition. Stress is the wear and tear our minds and bodies experience as we attempt to cope. So everything is related how we cope with the things that happening on our life, either pressures or changes, right? So this is the equation that we have to know. Stress equals pressure that is more than resources, right? So, and that's exactly what the position I was in. I came to Kuwait. I have so many, things I want to do. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to create this, I want to change the situation of psychiatry in Kuwait and so on. So I felt, and I was the only second qualified Kuwaiti psychiatrist in Kuwait. Abdullah Ghlum, Allah yadhkura bil khair, is the first. And I came 9 months after Abdullah Ghlum right away. So we were only two. كان في دكتور عصام الأنصاري أكبر منا لكن هو كان طلع الخاص. فاهتمامه بال what's happening in the governmental sector was far much less. So I felt the pressure. I have to do all these things. I want to change the situation in psychiatric services situation in Kuwait. And same time, I have my responsibilities at home. I have 2 kids who lived in England for 7 years, never came to Kuwait at that time. This is their first visit to Kuwait. Their Arabic was not that good, so we have to adapt with them how they will be able to manage at school, at home, with their relatives, so on. So we have that issue as well. 6 months after being here in Kuwait, I started building my own home. So the financial issue was a big question in my life. Will I ever be able to make it, and so on? And caring for home, caring for the construction that's going on in my own house, what's happening in the hospital. Get into the mix of all the what can I say? The dynamics that's going on in the Ministry of Health and our hospital. We were young, me both and Abdullah, but we have so much responsibilities, either in the Ministry of Health or in the hospital, so things were really bad. And it's not only I was not able to cope, but I was cracking. So everything was going wrong for me. Even decisions that I was making were really bad. And the worst thing I've ever taken in my life out of decisions were taken at that time of my life. So I had no resources. This has a pointer, Sajid? Yeah, it does. Do you know the infrared reflex? You know that you shouldn't put the infrared direct into your eye, exactly like today everybody was warning us that we never look at the sun directly. So you shouldn't look the infrared on your eyes. But everybody comes to a lecture, when he wants to check the infrared, they put it in their eye. So this is the infrared reflex. Right, so there was so much of pressure, I have no resources. Very limited resources. Either at hospital, at the community, everything. The resources were very, very limited. And I was under so severe, extreme pressure. So stress definitely is going to happen. And that's what happened. And my body responded to that because we have responses that our body, mentally and physically, that's going to respond to these stressors. Depression is 1, sleeping disorder is 2, appetite is 3. Appetite is the worst thing happened to me actually initially because I responded oppositely to stress, that I started to eat like a pig, okay? And I actually went to be not obese, I want to be huge, okay? Very huge. Because this is how I used to relieve my stress. في يوم صار هوشة بيني وبين زوجتي، أقول لكم على سر، لأني في يوم واحد كليت ب45 دينار كاكاو. اوكي. لا والله سنيكرز وتويكس يعني لا ما كان فيني اشتري غالي لانك تبني. ف this is how you might respond to stress in your life. So what you can see here is this is the emotional responses to stress when you have stress in your life. So you have to be careful, right? But when, you know, the thing is, when I came and I realized that I have a problem, and actually my father, Allah yarhamah, he is the one who called me and he said, Adil, what's happening in your life? You are not well. I said, I'm not well at all, Dad. And he said, what's happening? I said, I'm not happy at work. He said, is it something related to the specialty you choose? I said, no, it is the work atmosphere. So he said, Adil, you need to do something. You are not even able to maintain your relationship with us. So there is something definitely going wrong in your life and you have to look at it. So went home and I said to my wife, yes, definitely what is my father is saying is 100% true. I'm suffering and there is something wrong. Once I sat with my wife looking what might be the reason why I'm stressed, the first ready answer was work. Okay. Definitely it's work. And the direct answer to this, I'm quitting work. Okay, quit work, what you are going to do? I will see if I can set my private clinic. All right, so start setting your private clinic, then quit work. No, I'll quit work, then I will see what is going to happen about my private clinic. So the first thing that jumped into my mind, that all the stress that I'm suffering of at the moment, the pressure that I feel that I'm under at the moment is related to work. And definitely part of it was. But was it all because of work? I didn't look into other things. This is the ready, direct question, answer that we have every time we have something, we feel stress, we'll go and, look into work. And if you're going to look into work, you will find reasons why, you could say that work is the main source of my stressors. كنا قبل يمكن يذكر الدكتور ساجد في الجامعة يقول لنا we have to know why somebody is suffering of depression. فنروح نسأله نقول له شنو في شيء صار في حياتك زين عشان انت يعني اليوم تحس بالطريقة هذه. هذا كان سؤال لازم نسأله في الدبريشن يوم كنا يعني من قبل يعني من قبل 25 سنة كان I must ask the question to every depressed patient. Do you think there is something went wrong in your life? That's why now we are feeling depressed? But then, by research, we came to know that when we ask somebody this question, they will look into external reasons why they feel like this. And we knew that we were causing a bias. And we call it search after meaning. Okay. So he will find a reason. والله كلب ولد عمتي توفى. زين. عشان كذي أنا now I feel depressed. I used to like this dog very much. أي شيء. All right. So he will try to find a reason why he is feeling depressed. He will find a reason why he is feeling depressed. So search after meaning is a problem. And it actually narrows your vision. It will, you will always look to something outside you because you cannot criticize yourself. All right. So I won't criticize myself. I will look, so I said work. And work was part of my problems, but was not all my problems. Because as we can see here, types of stressor could be external and internal, and they have to interact in order to reach a level that makes you unable to cope with. So, external, yes, part of the external is the environmental stressors. Whatever is this environmental stressor, work, life, whatever. And then internal pressure is you, how you deal with these pressures. This is one important, this is part of how things are going. I will tell you how I solved my problem, then we'll keep on going onto the slides. What happened at that point, actually I went, I said I'm quitting work. So I went to the Ministry of Health. That time was Dr. Mohammed Al-Jarrah, Allah yadhkura bil khair, and I said, Dr. Mohammed, I want to resign. He said, you didn't work to resign. And I needed to go to him because I have to work for 5 years, or else I have to pay every penny they paid me for my scholarship. So I was in this dilemma. I have this house to build, and I can't keep on working on this job. I have my family to maintain. I need money for myself. I need satisfaction in my life. I want to achieve something, and I can't work. So that's it. And at the same time, if I quitted work and they asked me to pay every penny they paid me for my postgraduate studies, then I will go to jail because I won't be able to pay this money. So all these things were going on in my mind. So I went to Dr. Mohammed Al-Jarrah and I said, I can't maintain doing this job. It's very stressful. Everything is horrible, miserable. Hospital is miserable. He said, there's a hospital that's going to finish in 2-3 years, coming 2-3 years, our new hospital. That time it was not yet finished. And probably Adil, you are specialized in addiction treatment, so rehabilitation, so probably you'll go and be responsible of the addiction center. And I said, no, sorry, I can't. That's because now I'm saying work is the reason, and the solution, the only answer to that problem is I have to quit work. And look then what I'm going to do later. So he told me, okay, I can't, sign on your resignation unless you give the guarantee you are going to pay the money that was paid through your scholarship. And I don't want to tell you how much it was because I was going to commit suicide when I know how much I have to pay. Right? So he said, okay, that I can, it's in my hand to allow you 2 to 3 unpaid off leave for 2 to 3 months. And I said, I can't afford the 2 to 3 months unpaid. He said, okay, I can give you 45 days paid. I said, I will take them. And then I will have an answer. So I went home. I called my wife, and I said, she was at work. And I said, I have 45 days to know what I'm going to do because I'm not going back to this work. She said, okay, Adil, take those 45 days. I'm not going to intrude at all. I will leave you for yourself. Think. And I said, but sometimes I need to talk to somebody, and you are the best person to talk to. She said, I'm there. Whenever you want me, call me. I said, I will travel abroad. I will do something, whatever. All right. So I went abroad. I went actually to Egypt. And I didn't went to somewhere fancy or something like that. I love Egypt. So I went to Cairo in particular. And I needed to be, I was in a very constrained budget, so I wanted to keep it as low as I can. So I went and I stayed in a very small, it was not a hotel, it was B&B, okay? That's the best thing I can describe where I was. And I kept actually going on my feet everywhere. just walking in the old city of Cairo. I hate the new city of Cairo. I love the old city of Cairo. So I kept going there. I have passion to history, but I found myself that I never touched a history book for the last probably 4 or 5 years because I was just doing one thing, doing psychiatry. A scholarship was for 6 years, and through those 6, 7 years, I never touched a book. I just was studying, reading journals, whatever needed to become the best psychiatrist I thought I will ever be. So I said, oh my God, I'm missing history. I'm a bookworm. I used to read novels as much as I can. So I found myself that I've never touched a novel for the last 6, 7 years as well. So I started, oh, no, I need to go back to reading while I'm here in Egypt. Actually, I didn't have a round trip. I have one-way trip to Egypt because I didn't know when I'm going to come back. I started there to regain my passion to reading. Okay, so I started to have something enjoyable I'm doing. While I'm there, all by al-qadar, chance, I picked on another hobby, collecting vintage books. All right, and started by Mickey. وعلى فكرة هذيلا مو أحسن الكولكشن اللي عندي، هذيلا آخر ما اقتنيت فكانوا جاهزين فأخذتهم. لأن we have to يعني keep them in a certain condition، نرشهم بمواد وكذا، فعشان أطلعهم أجيبهم في تحتاج إلى تجهيز. فهذيلا الأشياء اللي تكون ناقصة عندي وأحصلها. فهذيلا توني داش أوكشن، سوري ما أدري شنو سويت. هذا العدد بس عشان أقول لكم. هذا العدد 21 ديسمبر 1967. All right, in a perfect condition. زين. هذا العدد 5 يونيو 69. هذه الأعداد تكون ناقصة عندي لأن تعرفونها كانت أسبوعية، فبعد ساعات يصير أسبوع ناقص عندك فتقعد تدور عليه. تمام. 28 مايو 70. 2 يوليو 70. أكبر منكم من معظمكم اللي هنا. 10 أغسطس 72. 14 ديسمبر 72. وهذا أنا عندي العدد رقم 1. زين. عندي العدد رقم 1. أنا كبتون while I'm there. عندي تعرفون أبلة نظيرة؟ تعرفون أبلة نظيرة؟ أبلة عندي كتابها الأول اللي أصدرته أبلة نظيرة، واللي كان يدرس في المدارس في مصر مال الأكل. I started to go and find, you know, these kind of books. سمير عندي العدد الأول، ميكي جيب عندي الأعداد كاملة من العدد الأول إلى عدد مال سنة 1990، آخر عدد في 1990. ماجد، مجلة ماجد عندي أعداد، زين، يعني مجموعة كبيرة. وانترا سوبرمان عندي المجلدات كلها. I started to collect and they were very cheap. ما أقول I started لأن I was not able to afford money. عندي so much things going in my life. Now, actually, I'm considered one of the best collectors, not the best, but one of the best collectors في Arabian Gulf countries. We started as a passion. Started at that time, في 2002. So when I started, and I, you know, kept walking up, you know, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or even before that, do my down prayer, then go have a walk, waiting for these small libraries to open and go and find something. And you can't imagine how much I was, you know, sometimes I need to hide and say, yes, I find it, I find a copy, all right? So I bought these copies. Sometimes, you know, I buy the copy for 100 Egyptian pound, and I discovered that it's worth $150. All right. So I started buying these, and I didn't buy all my library, you know, vintage books at that time, but this is when it started. And I started to feel very happy. The thing is that I was not even so much concerned about going back to work. Right. So I discovered that at that time, after actually 2 weeks in Egypt, I discovered that, sorry, let me go back there. وين راح؟ في سلايد راح. ديليت ما ادري. لا I discovered that most of my stress was internal. The way I was dealing with life. So after 2 weeks in Egypt, I decided to come back. So I came back and I told my wife, I'm going back to work. She said, sure? I said, sure. But I used to have a cut line between what's happening at work and what's happening at my life. There's a clear demarcation line. Things are not getting into mix. So, going back to work, actually I started to do one more thing, okay? What I started to do at work is I started to do social events within work. I started to create something. For example, today I told Sajid that I must leave here maximum 11:30 initially. The reason, because we had a social lunch that we're going to have at work. But then yesterday they decided, why not keeping it to Tuesday before going into the holiday? So I said, it's fine. And actually everyone would have his cook. And usually I will take this day off and cook myself for my colleagues at the hospital and take it. I'm the director of the addiction center now. So I do that and I take it to them. So I started to realize that if I have small things, passionate things within my work to do, and small things within my life to do, then stress will be much less in my life. I wouldn't concentrate on the pressure that is on me. I can't always be able to rely on external resources, but I'm always able to rely on my internal resources and have to create more and more resources. That's why probably every 2 to 3 years, I have a new hobby. I don't stop the old one unless I'm fed up with it. I'm still collecting my vintage book, but I started collecting canes as well, all right? وباي chance وقدرا تماما it cost me, yes, بس أنا اقتنيت عصاية كان يقتنيها أنور السادات. أحبها ما أحبها شيء ثاني زين. بس عندي عصات أنور السادات وكان يحب العصي ويحب البايبس بس I don't collect pipes. So I started to have another hobby. I went on and I wrote my first novel myself. راح أخلي كوبي هذا عند ساجد اللي يبي يقراه واللي يبي يستعيره عند ساجد وينباع ترى في آفاق ب5 دنانير تقدرون تشترونه. This was my first novel. It took me 4 years writing it and writing it. But what happens now? When sometimes I'm really, really, really stressed and I have no time to jump here or there, I go to my library and I open these books. I took one of the books I have so many vintage books. I treasure them. So just taking one of those books, that gives me so much of, hype. I'm writing my second novel now, and I'm almost done with it. So this is something I can escape for it. I started traveling, and I never travel you know, actually, while we are coming, Sajid was telling me, I'm following you on the Facebook and probably Instagram, I'm not quite sure. And he said that I can see that recently you started to go to places, strange places, but interesting places. And that's what I do now. I would go, I don't take long holidays. I hate long holidays. My maximum, days off is 10 days, including the weekends. So I never take long holidays. I hate them. So usually short holidays. Usually I go to these trips with my wife. I have grown-up kids. The youngest of them is 19, and he doesn't want to see us at all. So I go with my wife sometimes. Sometimes I go alone, and we go to small, very remote places. It doesn't cost us anything. I just came from a 10-day trip where I went for 4 cities in the same country, and all what I paid plus my tickets was 270 KD. And I had the maximum interesting 10 days this year. أقول لك بعدين حاضر بس you have to be ready for this. راح أوريكم صور زين حاضر زين. I wasn't alone. I had friends with me, and we enjoyed our time. وكذا. So every time, just have something small in your life, a new hobby, a new something, new interest that you concentrate with it. By this way, you would lose, your narrow vision on this is causing me problem. Now you have the internal resources that helps you to go and do these deal with this pressure and cope with them. So this is the issue. We never look into the internal stressors we have. We always concentrate with external stressors. If, for example, work is brilliant, then I would say my wife. Definitely my wife is a source of stressor, but okay, and husband for you, okay? We never look into the internal things. The thing is that most of our stressors, even work-related stressors, are created because of our internal system, right? So I'll cruise over this. I want to just to stop with something. You see? This is usually every day when commuting to work, everybody actually has a problem with that, the traffic jams and commuting and everything. And actually it starts here. It starts with misplaced keys. How many times a week you look for your key all over the house to find it? I used to do this. I used to shout at home. Where's my keys? Where's my keys? Where are my keys? I need my keys. Where you have put them? And everybody's looking at me. Why do we have to, to play with your keys? Look where you have thrown them. And most probably, I will find them in the pockets of my trouser that I was wearing yesterday. So now we have, solved this problem with having, this key thingy. So we all put our keys on that hanger, keys and that solved, saved us 15 minutes every morning, okay, finding our keys. I'd like to go to work early, not because I love my work or something like this, because this is the best time to commute to work. I leave home at 6:30, 6:20 in the morning, be at work by 5 to 7, 7 o'clock. Then actually I'll go there, I set my coffee, then I have a book to read till it's 7:30 when everybody start to come in and work start to kick in. So I started to have something interesting at work. So commuting, it's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. But where is it? Commuting is a problem. But there are small solutions to this. Look into your internal resources, because traffic jams is not going to change. All right. Misplaced keys, mechanical breakdowns, whatever. lifestyle choices, how you decide to live your life. I can see, new generation doctors around us in the hospital. They are on, I don't know what kind of class, Mercedes-Benz. They are driving, their shoes, their suits. And I say, how they can do it? I've been working this bloody job for the last 30 years, and I'm not able to do what they are doing. So yeah, lifestyle is very important, okay? How I choose to live, how I talk to myself, mind traps, small mind traps. Work is a problem. My marital life is a problem. These issues, personality traits, and we have to be wary about our personality traits. Now I know very well myself, not because I'm a psychiatrist. I talk to myself as a human being. When I talk to myself, I call myself Bu'dul. I don't call myself Dr. Adil. So I know the type of personality I am. I know that I'm hypomanic. You cannot keep me in one place forever. So I keep, and I'm not quitting my job every day. So I started to have new things at hospital. We have every second week, every other week, sorry, we have a running competition at hospital. At the start, I used to run myself. Now, at least 12 to 14, they come compete every other week. And we just laugh. Then we go have a shower, then start our working day. Every day at a 12:45, I have a coffee meeting at my office for nothing. We just drink coffee and chit-chat. Right? So these small things, because I know that I'm hypomanic, and if I don't find these kind of, interesting things going in my life, I will crack. I won't be able to cope. See, same thing at home. Okay, caffeine, and this is still a problem for me. I drink at least 13 cups of espresso a day till now. And then I say I have tachycardia. Oh, definitely I will have tachycardia. What do I think I will have? So I have to solve it. And now, because I'm talking and I have severe tachycardia. I know the reason. It's caffeine, for God's sake. Go and solve it. Not because I'm 50. I'm above 50, but 50 is fair enough. Okay. Lack of sleep. واحد من عيالي يدرس في امريكا حاليا طب زين فاتصلت عليه وكان معصب بس انا ما ابي اكمل طب وكذا وتعرفون الطب في امريكا لازم يخلص ساينسز بعدين لازم يجيب قبول درجات معينه عشان يقدر ينافس عشان يقدر يدخل كليه الطب خلص كل هذا والحين هو في كليه الطب يعني خلاص انت الحين تكفى الله يرحم والديك I can't ما شنو انا مو قادر انا ما ادري شنو انا هذا بعدين يعني صراحه كنت وايد مشغول عليه اتصلت كانت الساعه 2 عندهم بالليل اتصلت عليه ها مصعب شو اخبارك الحمد لله انا احسن شنو اسف قعدتك من النوم لا والله مو نايم يبا ليش مو نايم عندك امتحان شيء لا امتحاناتنا الاسبوع الجاي ليش مو نايم والله في نيو ابيسود من المسلسل توها نازله وقاعد اتابعها في نتفلكس قلت له مالت عليك ومالت على يدك مطلق الا مات مليوع عشان انت تتابع لي شو اسمه نتفلكس الساعه 2 بالليل بعدين تقول لي انا مضغوط في العمل زين نام زين نام واقعد مرتاح الصبح وروح جامعتك وانت مرتاح ومخك صاحي this is the thing. Sometimes we cause the stress in our life. يوم أنا يعني أروح أنام ساعات قليلة بالليل عشان والله يعني it happens every day. Every day I'm not sleeping well because I go to bed by 1. For what? For no good reason. يعني بس I don't want to sleep early. Okay, I sleep at 1 and then a.m. Then I wake up at 5 a.m. والله عشان اصلي الفجر خلاص اوكي ما اقدر انام لان لو نمت والله يعني مو الشغل لو ما راح اقعد اوكي فنايم 4 ساعات اروح الشغل what do you think how I will cope I won't be able to cope internally I'm not coping so overloaded schedule okay and sometimes social schedule takes most of our time pessimistic self-criticism, over-analyzing, all these things. So this is, I want just to go there and I'll leave, as I said, all this. But this is the answer where I want to go, yeah, you see? This is what I want. Not all the stress we experience is generated at work. No. Actually, by research, for those who were having high work-related stress, they went to those and they followed them for a whole year. Those who were diagnosed with work-related stress, with very stressful work atmospheres, all right, big companies. And they did this during the last recession, when it was 2008. Yeah. So they went and studied this at that time when everybody was, being fired from their job and I don't know what's happened, losing jobs was very high. And they found that 60% of those of the stressor, the causes of stress in the life of those people who have been diagnosed with work-related stress is related to other causes outside the work, but they were not aware of it. So we have to know that there are external stressors and internal stressors, and we have to be aware about our internal stressors and deal with them. And I don't want to go in this. So not all the stressors we experience generated at work. So what is the strategy? Number one is awareness. ABC, simple, awareness. What causes you stress? How do you react? You have to ask yourself these questions, simply. Balance, because there are negative stress and positive stress. We need positive stress. We do not want to eliminate all stressors from our life because life will be damn boring if we eliminated all the stress in our life. But the demarcation between positive and negative stress is very, very fine. So we have to be careful. This issue is not eliminating negative stress. The big issue here, the big task, is to convert negative stress into positive stress. So how much can you cope with before it becomes negative? Control, what can you do to help yourself combat the negative effect of stress? I'll tell you what I do. I go there to these places. This was in October. And I've met that guy there. I go in small streets. This is in Morocco. في مدينة شفشاون اللي عارفين يمكن تعرفون باسم المدينة الزرقاء. I went on in those small streets following small stories about history. هذا الشخص اسمه عبد الخالق بن ميمون أحد أحفاد ابن القاضي ابن ميمون واحد من الناس اللي كان لهم دور في العلم والسياسة. And there I found 2 of my best vintage books at that place, and we still so much close friends with عبد الخالق. هذا اللي في ايدينا هذا كتاب وهو كاتبه ما كان لاقي احد يطبع له اياه. I sponsored him. شنو كان 300 دينار يحتاج to sponsor his book, and he felt that this is the best thing ever happened in his life. Seeing him happy with his book, I was so much happy. And he gave me those 2 books of his late grandparents القاضي ابن ميمون as a gift. قلت له عبد الخالق كتابينك هذيلا يسوون 5000 دينار يمكن. زين وأنا بس اللي دفعته 300 دينار على طباعة كتابك. He told me the happiness you created in my life worth 5 million, not 5,000, and I don't care. So he gave me those books just because I met that guy there. And it took me 4 or 5 days. I wasn't looking for him. I was just walking. I want to meet interesting people. So I met him by chance, and we started to talk. I went to his house. We had my wife was with me, so she is the one who took the picture. So I wasn't alone, and then we started to meet there. This is a couple of weeks ago. This is one of my canes. This is a very precious wood. It's not a normal wood. في stamp عليها من فوق بس مو مبين هني. And I go walking, and I met this guy, and I didn't know him. I wasn't searching for him. For my amazement, this guy is a physician. He's from Sinai. This is in Saint Catherine. These are the mountains of Saint Catherine in Sinai. The highest peak in Egypt is the Saint Catherine mountain, 3,600 meter. So I was walking, and this gentleman was there, and he has his own farm, and he saw me walking, trekking with my cane. I had a friend with me who took the photo, and we were walking. So he said, "Salaam alaikum." Wa alaikum assalam. فهي asked us مصريين، قلت له لا عرب. زين حياكم حياكم. للاسف في احد مصري هني؟ افا اهل سيناء ما يحبون اهل مصر لاسباب سياسيه وتاريخيه، فكان يسالنا لو مصريين كان راح يخلينا نمر ما ينادي هنا. ف we went and he actually took us to his home. And he started to talk, and he asked me what I do, and I said I'm a psychiatrist. He smiled. He's 75. هذا اللي انتم شايفينه قدامكم عمره 75 سنة بس لأنه he's living good life. So he told me that he is a physician as well, graduated from Berlin University, okay, من ألمانيا. وصار له 30 سنة عايش في هالمكان هذا في الجبال، لأنه لقى أن يعني إمكانية أن يجيبون الأدوية وايد غالية في سيناء من أيام الاحتلال فبدأ يصنع الأدوية اللي يحتاجها من الأعشاب الموجودة في الأودية في سيناء في سانت كاترين. And this is his passion. He do researches, and he extracts medicine from the herbs that grows naturally in Saint Catherine in Sinai, and part of his research is how can I propagate these plants myself. So this is what he do. We spent with him one night and one day, and we was not planning for this. We have a tight schedule, we have to go because we have to finish our hike, and we met him, and we had a very interesting time. So you can imagine when you finish such a meeting, having such a wonderful time, how you will be back to your work, whatever stress is there, how you go back to your family, how you go back to your normal life and stressors. This is again in Saint Catherine. Actually, because I have a house there now. هذا واحد من الناس. I don't know if can. هذا الرجال الشاب هذا اسمه محمد عيد. طبعا في سيناء، في كل سيناء القبائل تنقسم حسب المكان. في الجنوب كلهم حروب. المزيني، شفتوا المزيني اللي عندنا هني هم نفسهم المزيني اللي في سيناء. هذيلا جبالية، يسمون جبالية لأنهم أصولهم تختلف. تمام. محمد عيد هذا مهمته، وأيضا ما أعرفه والتقيت فيه قدرا، وحاط أنا له مقطع في اليوتيوب. his passion إنه يروح يجمع القصص اللي من التراث، اللي من الناس الكبار، قصص البدو اللي يقصونها وكذا وهذا، فميمع 250 قصة، وما زال يسعى، هو ريال عنده فلوس وما زال يسعى انه شلون يجمع قصص كل الموجود. يقول انا لانها لو ماتوا الكبار هذيلا راحت هالقصص، فاحنا شلون نسويها؟ فكان يبي يطبعها في كتاب. قلت له تعتقد ان البدو والشباب الصغار راح يقرون كتاب؟ قال للاسف لا. قلت له ايش رايك نسويها في يوتيوب؟ والحين في شهر 3 راح اسافر مخصوص عشانه، ومعاي صديق مصور عشان نصور له القصص هذه كلها ونحطها في اليوتيوب. حدثت قدرا في الرحله هذه محمد الشيخ محمد عيد، وهذا انا الحلو هذا أنا. هذا وانا اوقع كتابي شهر 11 العام الماضي. ف another hobby، وهذه القصه يوم وصلتني امس صورت نفسي وحطيتها لكم. فهذه another hobby I've يعني I hooked on it for some time, then it just went away. Biking, and we used to go and do dirty bikes اللي هي على الجبال. ويعني I kept doing it for 3 or 4 years. Then nothing happened, but just يعني I lost interest for I don't know why, whatever reason. So I stopped doing biking now. But I got new hobbies as well. بس عشان اقول لكم الاقدار، شفتوا النخل هذا في بيت هني وراي. زين. يوم من وانا اتصور هالصوره هذه، عشان كذا انا اخترت لكم الصوره، كان محطوط على البيت اللي وراي ورقه مدبسه على الباب مكتوب للبيع. فزوجتي ما كانت معي وانا طالع في البايكينج. يوم ما رجعت فقلت لها تصدقين عاد البيت اللي وراي هذا مكتوب عليه للبيع؟ قالت لي زين شفته يعني شغله؟ قلت لها لا والله ما شفته. قالت ايش رايك نسافر ونروح نشوفه؟ عقب اسبوعين سافرنا وشرينا البيت وصار بيتنا الحين من سنه 2014. فنروح واريت البيت حق ساجد توني. ف this is the best way to deal with your stress, to control it. So and you will not be able to do this unless you put it clearly in your mind that you are the one who is creating stress in his life, his own life. So deal with internal stressors. Once you do this, you are able to deal with all things happening in life. So the main 2 things you have to do is to reframe your life and start thinking positively that I will do it, not necessarily today, maybe tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone.
Maybe we'll have a quick round of questions for 2 minutes and a half. 2 minutes and 35 seconds maybe. We'll add 5 seconds. Any question?
تمام ممتاز. كانت الرحله هذه زين. التذكره الطياره 60 دينار. زين. اي جزيره. تمام. والحياه في مصر في سينا ببلاش. زين. ببلاش بالفعل. يعني برحلاتك، باكلك، بشربك، السكن. في يعني انا ما اتكلم تروح تسكلي تقول لي انا والله رحت شو اسمه نوفوتيل دهب وكلفني اكثر، اوف كورس، لكن لا انا اتكلم عن نايس بيد اند بريكفاست مثلا. السكن مع البريكفاست it cost you daily $10.
ما اكلت كاكاو.
شنو ما اكلت؟ بطلت الكاكاو. وتاكل والاكل بعد كذي رخيص، واحنا نطلع برا وكذا، فيعني احنا اللي نطبخ اكلنا معانا.
انكلودنج البيت اللي شريته 270.
عاد تدري عندي بيت ثاني وهم ما ريته حق الدكتور ساجد في سانت كاترين. زين. شريت الارض ب50,000 جنيه وبنيت ب56,000 جنيه، يعني 106. الدينار ال1000 50,000. ال1000 دينار 50,000 مصري، الدينار ب50. 2000 دينار. الله يعافيك.
Any other questions? Stress related.
Victoria, the moral of the story is if you have stress at work, you should ask for 45 days paid leave. لا فيكتوريا مو قصدي كذي الحين if you get a flu, you get symptoms, high temperature, your body is fighting the disease. If you have stress, and you mentioned some of the symptoms of stress,
Yeah.
is this your body fighting
Yeah.
the stress?
Yes.
And you mentioned you ate a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
Is chocolate
Yeah.
remove my depression or something?
Yes. Why, when we feel down, we usually go to chocolate. It's not a matter of يعني coincidence. Chocolate can initiate your body to produce to release serotonin, and serotonin is the neurotransmitter responsible of depression. So your body go for whatever it's lacking. That's why ladies when they are pregnant, احنا نقول يتوحمون البيكا. Why she goes to certain بيكا؟ يعني واحدة تقول والله باكل طباشير ولا باكل تراب ولا باكل الأشياء الغريبة هذه زين. Because your body is calling for something and then it is translated into your brain for that thing. So yes, your body reacts to all the physical stress you are having. So when I had duodenal ulcer, not only that I was eating too much, I had duodenal ulcer because I was having stress. I was bleeding because of the duodenal ulcer, and I was in pain, and it was not responding to treatments. Diabetes is one response to stress and anxiety. Hypertension is one response. Cardiovascular problems are a response to stress as well. So that's why we have to deal with the stress. But when I rely, we have something in psychiatry, we call it locus of control, all right? So when is the worst time when I feel so bad and so down? When I'm pretty sure that the locus of control is not within me, it's outside. Somebody is controlling me with his remote controls, all right? So at that time, I will feel totally, disgusted and pain, everything, depressed, everything. So what they are trying to do, they are trying to, the psychologists, what they will try to do, that's why psychotherapy is important for us in psychiatry, because we'll try to, give you something for your depression, to treat your depression, and then we try to prevent depression from happening again. How we try to teach you not to, train you not to get into depression again is to help you to gain your locus of control. And this is the issue of locus of controls came from a psychologist called Seligman. Seligman went and did a very unethical research because, in the 60s there were no ethics for research, and it was a brilliant time, actually, for science. So Seligman went and he did this very small, silly research, but it was very important for us. He brought 2 dogs, all right? They are identical dogs. They came from the same mother, all right? Same age, same everything, right? He put his 2 dogs in 2 different cages. And there was nothing different in the cages except from very small detail. In one cage, there was a wooden shelf, okay? The other cage has no wooden shelf, right? Both cages were metal, so they were electrical conductive. And he plugged these cages into electricity, right? And to make it even worse, he had some water in the bottom of the cage, so it will conduct even electricity more and more. Food will be presented at the bottom of the cage, all right? It's not on the shelf, in the bottom of the cage for both dogs. But that dog who has the shelf, he has the chance to jump onto the shelf and be away from any electrical shocks, all right? So when the food is presented, all what he has to do is to jump for seconds, to take his food and go up to the shelf. The other dog has no chance to do anything. He can't help himself, okay? He has to be in the bottom and he will have electrical shocks. In 24 hours, that dog who has no wooden shelf, he went to the corner and he was sitting there, obviously depressed, receiving this electrical shocks all the time, and he was not moving, okay? So he was receiving all the pressure, okay? The pain, everything, and he was not trying to get away because he has no control over that. That dog was still, as he is, very active. Seligman continued with this experiment for 48 hours, not 24 hours, but that dog started to show depressive symptoms after 24 hours, less than 24 hours. After 48 hours, Seligman went and he opened the door of these two cages so these two dogs can escape, right? But electricity is still there. The dog who had the privilege of the wooden shelf went out of the cage and he was running, happy, playing, doing everything he used to do before. The other dog did not even try to leave the cage and continued to receive the electrical shock, despite the fact that the door was open. So it's all about the locus of control, okay? Who is controlling my life, right? So if I handled my remote control to work and I say, well, this is where is my life, then all the pressure at work is controlling me, then I will feel the pain. And I will be exactly, sorry for the word, but exactly like this dog who's sitting in the corner and I'm not able to help myself. But if I said, okay, work is important and I have to succeed in work and I have to do work according to the regulation is there, but can I create something inside the work, at least for me? If I'm not allowed to do something more, I will create it for myself, all right? So when I feel that I'm positive, I'm controlling, I have the remote control of my life, that will reduces the effect of pressure at work on me. That's with life, with family, with financial issues, with everything.
The takeaway message from here is when you are in a stressful situation, you have to take your mind off that situation by creating something else for yourself. Am I correct?
You have to create it before you are under stress.
Yeah, but in your case earlier when you came back from your studies, you had...
That was too late. I would rather have created it before. That's why I'm saying now try to create something.
Because my question is, isn't this running away from the problem? If I have a financial problem, for example, and start traveling, it wouldn't solve my financial problem.
Exactly right. That's why I'm saying is the issue is not running. The issue now, I'm creating this within my life. Within my life. Even at work, I have things with my colleagues. Every morning we have something. Every morning we have this coffee meeting. Coffee meeting, we discuss nothing. We laugh, we have a big laugh. And I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for myself. Reading a book at 7 o'clock in the morning before everybody is coming there. I'm not creating it for work. This is what's going to help work. I'm doing it for myself.
You're taking your mind away from the problem.
For some time, in order to be able to carry on solving my problems.
Also, you are strengthening yourself to cope with those problems, coming with a positive mindset, being able to cope with those problems. Maybe you cannot do anything for the external cause of pressure, something beyond your capacity, something you cannot handle. Yet the other thing, which Dr. Adil insisted on saying that our internal self, internal immunity, if I might say it, to handle and to cope with those things. These are the ones that is within our capacity. These are if you are waiting for the employer, let's say stress at work, waiting for the employer to do something, you might wait for long. Yet you can, during that time, is to strengthen your internal immunity capacity, I might say, against the stressors. Let's take that as a last question before we can...
Doctor, the issue with
Psychiatrist.
this is the one. And the stress, it's not like the normal medicine, like you have sore throat, you take Zithromax, this is easy thing, you know the reason. This is more of the trial and error. Okay, you try this one, traveling good in your case.
Exactly.
Me, maybe
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel the pain, I feel the trouble, I feel small. So this kind of thing, this trial and error, how can you minimize it in order to come to the solution?
What I usually say,
Psychiatrist.
psychiatrist. What I usually say, actually, I will tell people try to find your scapegoat. Okay, you have to find something. I won't be able. When I say I'm doing this, I'm not trying to tell you you go on, carry on and doing it. All right. For example, my brother, he would spend a whole day working on fixing an electrical device. Oh, I wouldn't do that. An electrical device is not working. I'll ask somebody to come and fix it. If it's not fixed, I'll buy a new one. That's it. Okay. Even the light bulb, I've never changed my light bulb by myself. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. So doing something, finding a scapegoat in your life, it's something that you have to create it in your life. No psychiatrist will be able to suggest, but you have to find something. Exactly like we were told here, you need something to shift your mind from concentrating within the problem. Sometimes when you look into from the other side, you will find a solution to the problem. But when you keep on looking into the problem, you will never find a solution for it. So this is the thing. And exactly like Dr. Sajid said, you need to strengthen your internal resources in order to be able to think probably to solve your problems. So this is the issue. It's how I find a scapegoat. This is something that you have to look into, things you like to do in your life.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Adil, for this lecture. Really, it is one of the most interesting lectures that came.
هذا مو هدية، هذا بس الهدية.
Thank you for that. It made me think a lot about the direct messages, the indirect messages, and I would urge you to, after going out of this lecture, to recall the messages, and maybe we can have it in our lives, in our way of doing it. Maybe not vintage books, maybe other vintage things, I don't know. So thank you, Dr. Adil. This is a small token of appreciation. Ahl pictures, where are Ahl pictures, please? So take images, thank you. And I think every one of you got the coupon for the food. So we are starting this new system. You don't eat if you don't attend the lecture. So from now on, no free food. Thank you, يعطيك العافية.
مشكور، جزاك الله خير. وانا الكوبون مالي
موجود.
الله يحفظك.
هذه عصا السادات كم كلفته؟
والله ما كلفتني شيء. كان واحد ما يدري عنها.
لا والله.
اي والله.
عصا سيدنا موسى كان تطلع. لكن عافية دكتور، مشكور ما قصر.
الله يسلمك.
ممكن بس اشوف شويه.
اي فعلا.
واحده.
في قلت شغله انا عندي صارت لي مشابهه. انا اول ما اشتغلت فعلا حسيت بالستريس وكذا، فبعدين